Hi everybody, it's Mr. Ed back again with a hopefully educational and informative trading video. What are we doing today? We're doing the S&P. This is a 4-hour chart. I like to kind of take a, kind of keep my eye on a higher time frame chart just to see what's going on, to see if I can figure out, like, for example, where are things weakening? Where's your trend changes? For example, on this thing, I've got a daily, a weekly. I've got a 90-minute chart or a 90-minute VWAP, daily, weekly, and monthly, as you can see here. Okay, and you can see if you're a swing trader, this has been just absolutely a beautiful hog heaven chart. Okay, these lines here are zigzag areas where they print the upper and lower areas, and then they stop when they get violated, like right here. Okay, so these are right here. This is a basically a specialized RSI. It's just a Wilder's RSI, RSIW, if you got that on your Sierra charts, and it's just RSI with like an 80-20. I think it was 80-20. I set it back up to because I was watching a video from SMB Capital, which is one of the largest prop firms around. They're based out of New York City, and they talk about, RSI, 80-20, 75-25, 80-20, that sort of thing. So you can get these bigger, a little bit bigger swings. So here's what happens. I mean, you can take a look at these things, okay? You can see, you can use Virgin Pox. I did a video quite a while back on Virgin Pox. You can use the tops of these zigzags, that sort of thing, and it paints a very, very, very complete story of what's going on. Okay, so we go back. If we go back into very quickly, we can just go back into way over here. You're looking at back in July. This was right around my birthday, by the way. Right back here, you've got a high of almost, they almost hit 4,700. Okay, back in July, they didn't do it. Okay, but what happens? Okay, you start seeing a bunch of these red, you start seeing these bunch of these red extensions on zigzag, and this is where it gives you a really cool picture of the bigger picture. Really, really cool view of the bigger picture. Number one, you start making these guys, the green arrows at the bottom, which would be basically you're buying those are starting to get violated as you come down. So very, very, very clear trend change. Okay, the weekly, you're looking at, what is that? Is that the weekly or the monthly? Okay, you're looking at monthly. The monthly VWAP, all of a sudden, the monthly VWAP just flips. Okay, so there's your your daily, weekly. There's your, I think your monthly's behind that guy, and then all of a sudden it flips down. So you're trading below the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. There's the monthly VWAP. You've got these guys up ahead. You've got the red not getting violated, green getting violated. What are we going to do? We're going to go down, and that's what we did. And you can see, you can follow these guys down. Okay. So as it comes back, and I made another video on this about VWAP. VWAP's a really, really cool indicator. As it violated the VWAP right here, here we go, down, 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 right? Okay, so we're coming down, we're violating these. These, now, as you get these green guys, they don't necessarily mean buy, okay? They are take profit points. If you say, for example, you shorted, you're fortunate enough to short up in here or short up in this area, okay? That was the 27th. You're looking at, there's your 4-hour candle, and then that is a 240-minute candle. So you crested up here, and then you came back down, pulled back up in, started shorting this area, okay? And what did you do? Just go down, come down, come down, come down, okay? So there's a take profit there. If you had layered in right up in this area, take profit there. When you get a green, take profit there. No real, just bouncing back and forth here. you could get back in here, get back in here, get back in here, okay? And then there was a spike run right there. That was basically a stop run for people that entered here at basically the end of the day. That was number one. It could have been a stop run, but then again, it could have been. It's like they have this magic telephone that says, "Hey, can you price back up here so I can get back in and start selling more up here?" So or just let it just drift up here, and then you start selling up here, up here, up here. So right in this area here between about 45.91 and you're looking at 45.91, 45.73. Just start layering in. This is for the swing guys, that deep pocket swing guys that basically are selling every time this guy comes up here, they sell it. They can buy a contract or two out here to get out. You sell it back up in here, and then you get a green. You buy it back. So we're coming down. We have a nice little take profit area right up here, right down in here. This was like, Friday. Yeah, the 8/18. This was Friday at cash market open. They popped it back up, and there are ways to see that. There are ways to see that is happening. I'm not going to get into this video, but there's that. There's your take profit right there. Come back down, reshort it, take profit here, take profit here. Okay, so let's go down to, it came back up in here, and then everybody started reshorting it. It violated this, was not able to violate that, and then they started making lower lows. Lower highs. Lower high, lower high, lower high. So the swing guys are having one heck of a time. They are just having just a blast. Okay. Now what happens? They start shorting it up in here and then start coming down. There was a nice little short signal if you're a if you're a scalper, it'll kill you. But if you're a swing guy, yeah, because you're going to hold it up here and it just comes back down. Okay. So now you're taking profit every time you hit that green RSI extension. Okay, hit, and now all of a sudden, this was Friday, Friday on the 27th. The Friday guys, they start buying it up. Sunday. There's your buy signal right there. You've got an arrow right there, and then you've got that green right there, which says, buy. I'm going to go over this in the 4-hour chart too, by the way. Okay, so you're coming up. You're starting to violate these red lines here. Everything's starting to flip. Your VWAPs are starting to flip. So what are we going to do? We're going to go up. There's your last VWAP, which was that's the monthly VWAP. That got violated. Okay, so where are we going? Go up, 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 up. So the guys that were short flipped down here when they started seeing this stuff, when they started seeing this violated, and they started seeing these RSIs and MACDs and all this other kind of stuff, and volume and all this stuff just saying up, up, up. There we go. So there was your signal. See that little arrow right there? There was your signal. Start buying, and that's exactly what they did. Buy, 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 buy. There is a take profit point right there. There's another buy, layer in, buy, right? Which is right in conjunction with that monthly, comes down to that monthly VWAP right there. Right above that monthly VWAP, you buy it. There you go. Driving it up, driving it up, driving it up. Swing, swing, swing. These swing guys are making just fistfuls of money, okay? I mean, these are these moves, and that's one of the nice things about the S&P is that you can layer in with a bunch of contracts. There's multimillionaires. There's multi-millions of dollars people are making on these swings up like that, okay? So we've got to the bottom, okay? We've got, nice pullback here. There's there's a pullback here. There's a pullback up in this area, Now, as you notice, the ranges, okay? Nice ranges here on the 14th, 15th. Nice ranges, a pullback range here. see, we're pulling up now. Those ranges are getting smaller, okay? And now over the holiday, that range got really, really small, which you would expect. We're still above the monthly, but we're very far extended from the monthly. We're still above the weekly. We're very far extended, and we flipped over on the daily, okay? On the daily, so I would be looking at this area here, up here to short. If I start getting short signals. Okay, so that's the 240. That gives us a very broad, and I hope I've been very clear about this. This gives a very broad picture of the markets. I mean, you know, you're making higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher low. Now, if we start making, you know, now we had a lower high here. We're looking at a lower high here, which didn't go anywhere. We had a lower high here, which got violated right there. And we have a lower high there which got violated right there. So use caution in this area on Sunday night and Monday. Sunday night and Monday is gonna tell the tale whether they're gonna push it back up or not. So let's switch over to the 4-hour chart. I want to show you something very interesting on the 4-hour chart. Okay, so here's the 4-hour chart, and let me extend this a little bit. Here's the 4-hour chart from Friday. Okay, so what I did, and what I will typically do, is see this area. That's the extension for the daily VWAP. Okay. So what I do was I just started over here and drew one, and it should have been extended a little bit, but drew one down here from here. It's very rough. You don't have to be exactly precise. So, because it's a zone, okay? You got a zone of 73. What is that? 73, 74. You got a couple of points here, right, to where you're looking. If you come back up here, you're looking for a short. If you come back down here, you're looking for a long, in conjunction with signals. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at for Friday. Okay, this was Thursday. Okay, we only traded like half a day. Okay, so this is what we're looking at for Friday. And I drew those little zones in just to see what's going on. Okay, so what am I looking at right here? So not trading any of this, okay, because this is going up, that's going down, right? Expansion phase. This is a really, really easy way. You don't have to draw broadening formations. You don't have to draw any of that stuff on your chart. You know, because it's all manual, and I hate doing manual stuff on my charts if I don't have to. So you see this broadening formation, okay? These arrows, okay, right here, these arrows, it's on a system called the Strat, and I've talked about the Strat before. If you go to Trade Sniper Sarah's YouTube channel, she's got just an abundance of videos. There's other guys that do it. I like Sarah. She talks. She's slow. She's methodical. She doesn't talk like you know. There's other guys on here that just they sit there and wave their charts around and wave their mouses around like this and wave their charts and sit there and do this stuff on their charts, and that's just confusing to me. I can't follow it. Sarah does a much better job of teaching. I like her. So let's go through this. So that's Strat signals, and these are high probability Strat signals that I have found over time to be pretty reliable. This is a 4-tick Renko chart up here. Now the Strat signals will work on Renko charts because the Strat signals do not rely on the Renko highs and lows. They're relying on other things that are underlying, as I understand it. Now I could be wrong, but I found these charts to be pretty reliable. Okay, so here it comes up in this area. I drew this area right here. You're looking at the start of the day. You're looking at any time before 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Even at the end of the day, you can just draw that zone. Here's one zone here. Here's 2 zones here. You're looking at right here. This was the bottom of that candle, and it drew a line across there. You could even extend this zone down to here if you wanted to. Okay, and that basically is your support zone. This is basically your resistance zone right here. which is from the previous day. Actually, that's from a while back. I think that was like Wednesday. So when they get, like I said, when these things get violated, then they're no longer valid, which happened on Friday right here. Okay. So a lot of guys, they didn't trade on Friday, but there's money to be made. Okay. So let's start looking at this thing. Okay. So you did not have an RSI signal there. Okay. But you did have, this is back up in that zone. So it's taking that short there. Yeah, that's valid. Okay. And you made a new high right there. See that red line right there, short below the red line. So what are you looking at? What are you looking at getting into a trade? Okay, I like to see the RSI. Okay, it's not necessary, but I like to see that RSI confirmation. Okay, number one, right here. See, it made a higher high, but it drove that line right there. There's a strat short signal there. There's another strat short signal there. So you could have gone short up here, right? And then on the retest, you didn't push as high, and then came right back down. Okay, you're in that little box that you drew. You're in this more, and just as importantly, you're into the daily VWAP extension, coming up into that, or right above it, and then coming right back down. Okay, so once you get that short strat signal, what are you targeting? Now, you're targeting short strat signal. If you took two contracts, the first one's you're targeting your 90 or your daily VWAP. This is a daily VWAP right here. The 90 minutes, the dotted line. The daily one is the solid one. So you're targeting that. You can take one contract off. Okay. Now if you kept your stop back up here, you already got this money in the bank. You hit your daily VWAP, coming back up in here. You could have shorted it there. Okay. You might have gotten stopped out here unless you kept your stop back up here to the red line. Okay. And that's a pretty good place to put your stops. If you violate it, and we violated it one tick there, but it was still on the chart, which I'm not sure why, but that's okay. It violated it like right there, one tick, but keep your stops back and you're good to go. Once you come down into this area, okay, and you get you're getting a strat signal, you could get out there. There's your one contract off here. You add, you're back in for two, out right there, one, and then ride back down to that daily VWAP extension, and you're out. Okay, there's money to be made right there, and you're looking at you're looking at somewhere around 45.73.5, something like that. 45.73, 45.73 even. You're looking at that down there. First contract off at 45.69, 45.70. So there's four down there, and then your second one off right down in here, right up in here somewhere. 45.67. Okay, 45.67. That's what, 5-6 points. Okay, so you made $250 down here per contract, or you took one off there and one off there. You're making $500 on these swings, on these little mini swings here. Okay, so all right, what are you going to do? Do you want to take that one? You could, but once the signal didn't come on until down here, till you cleared that bar down there. So that's a nice long reject. I'm not sure I want to take it if it's down here that short. So just sit on your hands. You don't have to take it. So you come down, right? Come down. Now you start seeing RSI signals. Okay, at right after 9:30, because we're starting to get to see a little bit more volatility, a little bit more momentum in the market. 9:30 opens, bam. Okay, so why would you take that long? You took that long. Number one, it's out of the daily, it's out of the 90-minute VWAP extension. You got a long arrow here for the strat, and you got the RSI. You got an RSI that says take it long. Okay. Oh, cool. All right, cool. So where do you go with it? So you take that long right up to VWAP, okay? Once it starts rejecting, you can rejecting off VWAP, you can get out. Very standard daily. The daily VWAP is a really, really standard target, and you'll notice price action will rotate around the VWAP. As you can see, it'll rotate around that daily VWAP. The 90-minute VWAP will tell you what's going on, but on a shorter term, but the daily VWAP, it rotates around it. Okay, so it rotates around it, has a nice rejection up here, nice downside up here, boom, comes back up here to the daily VWAP, rejects, which is very typical for the 930. Once cash market opens, you'll start seeing the big boys starting to take these, okay? First reject, it usually rejects the first time after cash market open off the daily VWAP. So use that as a target, or you could just write it down, okay? Getting out anywhere in here, you do not get an RSI signal right there. You could open up your RSI, for example, if you took the, I like 80-20, 75-25, 70-30 you could use in conjunction with these zones right here, or the strat signals, okay? So you come up here and you get out, okay? You don't have to write it back down, there's no signals, but you're above that. See that flattening out, that 90-minute VWAP is flattening out. The daily flattened out, the 90-minute VWAP flattened out. So this is kind of flopping around. So you've got more to the downside. Here's your long-term resistance, there's your short-term resistance. Short-term resistance right there, okay? So what are you doing? Short-term resistance is below long-term resistance. So taking longs, caution, but you could. You know, you got a signal, you got an RSI, you got everything in your favor on this thing. It may not go very far, just up to the daily VWAP, which it did, okay? And there's where people go, well, you can't predict price action. Well, maybe so. So, you drive it, it's driven right up there to that daily VWAP. It rejects off the VWAP, which is typically, you're expecting that. If it goes farther, that's fine. You got out, you made money right there. You made that from, you're looking at, say 45.64 all the way up to 45.69. I mean, that's you just made $250 per contract on the S&P on the day after a holiday. Isn't that cool? So you could take that VWAP projection, you could take that long-term, short-term resistance value. That's actually value areas, but that's okay. That's neither here nor there. It's another conversation. We can call it supply demand. We can call it support resistance. Whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. So we come up here. Daily VWAP's here, right? Turns red. Boom. You could take that short down. Okay, back into this zone right down in here. Or see, you drew that. So there's your support zone. There's your resistance zone. You drew it beforehand, so you know where your support and resistance is going to be. So you come down here, right? You take it off. You didn't get it. You're not getting a signal here. You could take it as it came back, and there's your retest. But you could. If not, that's fine. Here we go. So what are you? You're short biased, right? You're biased to the short side for the moment, okay? Now this has moved up. You notice that little bit of a move up. So resistance has moved up a little bit, okay? So now you're starting to think, well, is there a trend change? Well, here you go. Now that line prints right there. You've got an RSI right here. There's your red line, okay? You've got a strat short signal. You're coming out of this guy right here, and you've made a new one of these. That very high probability short. So what happens? You take that short signal, right? Take the short, boom, 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 come back down into this area, okay? it popped below support. So if you took it off in here, that's anywhere in here, you know, you're done. You're out. Okay, fiddle around, fiddle around, fiddle around. You start seeing you know, you got one long RSI, one short, both of those right there, right there. Beautiful signals, worked out very well. Came right back down and into this flat. See how this is kind of flattened out down here? The 90 minutes flattened out. The daily has moved down a little bit and it started to flatten out, just like this guy. See, 90 minute and then basically starting to flatten out. So you're flattening out, but you're seeing here, you're seeing a retest of that 90 minute, the daily and the daily VWAP right there. So what happens? You can take a short right there down into there, comes back up, okay? Didn't even make it here. So what does that tell you? You're below the daily, you're below the 90 minute. That 90 minute VWAP is red, so your short's still in play. Short that, right down there, back down into your zone. Take it down, you know, into that zone or below it, to where all these guys are, the 90 minute and the daily. Boom, get out. Comes back up here, short it. There's a short right there. There's a short right there. Both those candles right there on those 4-tick Renkos. Short it there, short it there, short it there. Comes back down. You could sit there and just scalp the crap out of this area right here and make money. Okay. Anywhere in here. Now, the Renkos are very clear about showing you where consolidation is. Okay. And I'll put here's where basically there's your consolidation zone is. Okay. Now, 5 o'clock, market just opened. Okay, so that was I'm monitoring another chart on another window, and that's what that bell was. So what happens here? So it breaks out, it comes back down here, right? Now your 90 minute is starting to diverge and trade above. What happened when it traded below here, below the daily, pushed price down? What's happening when it trades above the daily? There's the daily, there's the 90. There's the 90 minute. What does that mean? That means that you're starting to trade, you're starting to go long. So, and you're targeting this area here, okay? So we ran out of time at the end of the day, and that was it. Okay, sorry, I forgot to update my chart. Okay, so what you're looking at this. See that? You're looking at that as a target. You're looking at anywhere like up here as a target, right? So you can just draw a zone. Draw a zone from say here to here. Okay, extend it. Boom, where did it come? Came right back up here and then shorted. Okay, and that was it. That was the end of the day. So you could use that as a target, and then you're done. I was going to go back to the other days, but this video is getting a little long, and markets started to open for the Sunday session. So I'm going to make another video going back through the last few days. But if you put these 4-tick Renkos on your charts, and you put this, this chart is out in the free area. So just start looking at this stuff. Looking at these lines that have not been violated as, support down here, resistance down here, in conjunction with other stuff. You never, ever, 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 ever take a signal on its own. Ever. Do not take a signal on its own. You want confluence between zone here, zone here, that sort of thing. Zone here, and here's your zone right here. Let me draw that back in there. There, that's fine. And then extend that. Okay. So you've got that from the day before. I can get rid of this if you want to. That was at the end of the day. So you've got a couple of resistance zones in here. You've got your daily, and then you had your 90-minute at the peak right here. And then it came right back into that 90-minute and just boom. Okay, there's your congestion. Let me get rid of all this other stuff here. Okay, and my congestion zone. Okay, now I've got some targets down here. Okay, now I've got right here, right there, basically. So let me extend that. Okay, there you go. So now you've got a support zone, and you've got some resistance zones down here in conjunction with those, see those lines? In conjunction with those lines right there, in conjunction with these lines right here. Okay? Pay attention to where your daily, where's my daily VWAP? Where's my weekly? Where's my monthly? Okay? If you're a swing trader, if you're a day trader, watch these. You kind of keep an eye on them, but you don't have to, you know, be religious about it. Like if you're a swing trader, you're going to be pretty religious about it because you want the highest probability trades you can, and you're willing to wait until it hits your target. I would be looking at that previous zone down in here for a short target, long target, short-term short target right down in this area right here. They could, you know, looks like they front ran it. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. I want to go back through last week's trading with this exact same chart. I think it's extremely useful, and we'll see you all later.